Hi, I'm Heather,
I'm Haley.
and we're the Dunnit Sisters, a Kansas City true crime podcast. We interviewed Sheila Williams, and she told us about her son, Xavier, and what happened on the day he was murdered.
At first, we just ask you to tell us about your son so we can get to know him like you did. And then what happened that day.
Okay. Xavier Young, he was my only child. He was 18 when this happened to him. It happened November the 6th, 2019, a day after my birthday. Xavier was a loving kid. He loved doing different things. He loved being around family. He loved kids, especially. He loved the babies. He was very hands-on and very creative. He was very smart and very talented in different things. And the day that this happened, I had spent the whole day with him. He actually had a job interview that day of a job that he's been wanting for so long, and it was for a security guard. And once he found out that he was old enough to apply for the job, he applied for it. And that day, I took him to his interview and spent the whole day. He came out excited because he had got the job.
Um,
He had got his dream job. And from there on, we spent a few more hours after he finished with his interview. We went and got something to eat. We just rode around and made a couple runs with each other. And once we got home, he asked me to drop him off over on 24th and Chelsea, where it occurred at. And not even 2 hours later, I received a call saying that my baby had been shot. And I panicked. I was scared. I was nervous. Didn't know what to think or what to expect. And once I arrived at the scene, wasn't no paramedics there. It wasn't no police officers there. I was the first one on scene.
really?
And the thought of me trying to make my way to my son to help him and to know that he was still alive and breathing. And once he heard my voice, he took his last breath.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, he took his last breath once he heard my voice.
He waited for you.
I know.
He waited for you. How long did it take you to get there?
I'd say not even 5 minutes away.
5 minutes. Okay. Okay.
I was there probably within 3 minutes flat.
Was he at a house or was it a business? I'm not sure what's in that area.
It was at a house.
A house. Okay.
Yes.
So evidently there's probably a lot of people there and they probably know who did it.
Yes, they definitely know who did it, who was responsible. They knew what happened, what took place, and what occurred. He was actually lured out the house. And the lady that lives in the house, she knew the whole time of who was responsible. She knew the whole story of what happened and what took place because she was the one that lured him out of the house.
Was it planned or was this just a sudden thing?
It was, I wouldn't say it was a sudden thing. It was more of a jealousy type thing. My son was actually dating the lady that lives in the house. He was dating her daughter. And it was a gentleman that she was dating. And apparently he had a thing for the daughter. And he felt as if the only way to get rid of Xavier is to do what he did to him. And it just hurts me to know that this lady knew since day one. And when she was questioned the night of, she told the detectives that she didn't know anything. And now here it is going into almost 3 years. And she has spoken upon the situation. to people that I know, and it has gotten back to me. But I've reached out to the detectives, and he's still saying that there's not much that they can really do about it unless she comes forward and speak. Unless the other lady that I know of that she told everything to will come forward and speak. And neither one of them is cooperating.
Did anybody else who was at the house besides those two ladies that you're speaking about, do they know anything about it?
The lady that lived in the house,
Mm-hmm.
she spoke up on it to a lady that lives like 2 houses over that I
Okay.
know.
Okay.
And at first she was willing to reach out to the detectives about it, and then she changed her mind.
It wouldn't be out of fear, right? I mean, since she's the one that lured him out.
No, the mother of the daughter that he was dating.
Mm-hmm. Does the girlfriend know anything about it?
She knows, but she haven't been questioned.
The police haven't questioned his girlfriend.
No.
Have they questioned anybody else there? That you
No.
know of?
No, they
That's what
haven't.
that blows my mind. I hear this quite often.
It was just the lady that lives there, the lady of the house.
The homeowner was interviewed, but nobody else. And there aren't any surveillance cameras out there that happened to capture.
Actually, it was a surveillance camera right at the house next door,
Uh-huh.
but she wouldn't cooperate of giving up the camera.
What?
And when I talked with the detective about it, basically he was saying that there wasn't anything that they can do about it.
Really?
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I thought if you had evidence that you had to.
This is Kansas City Police?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. And just the whole thing of me finding out everything
Uh-huh.
and knowing that there wasn't a motive really behind it besides jealousy. And he has bragged on other occasions of taking someone else's life besides my son's. And he's still out here.
He's not in jail right now.
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
What a piece of work.
Yeah, I know. And last week it was kind of hard for me because my son's birthday was last Thursday.
That's right.
And it was his 21st birthday.
Yeah,
And then to know that these people are out here just living their life.
Right.
And knowing that what happened, who was responsible, and what took place, and nothing's being done about it. But I tell myself every day, I'm not going to give up.
We're not going to give up for you.
I'm going to keep pushing willingly and striving until I get the justice that I know that he deserves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How old? So your son was 18. How old was his girlfriend at the time?
She was 18.
She was also 18.
Yes.
So the mom's boyfriend was liking an 18-year-old.
Yes.
That's okay. And I take it he was an adult. I mean, I know you don't quite want to a man.
He was.
Okay. Okay.
And then the night that it happened, my sister brought something to my attention. She noticed at the crime scene that the daughter was actually crying after my son passed away.
Mm-hmm.
But the mother, she was trying to squeeze tears out. So she was fake crying.
Right.
Was anybody out there with him when you arrived? You said you were the only one there.
Besides the law enforcement, the other person that was told what happened, she was there. She was trying to help him.
Okay.
But other than that, everybody else was basically kneeing over his head, just watching him suffer. Because from my understanding, what I was told, he was trying to tell them who it was. He was trying to tell them who it was.
So who did it?
Hmm. He actually came out and they said that his words that came out of his mouth was red. He was trying to say red car. And at that time, that was the kind of car that he was driving.
A red car.
And since then, he has changed up.
Right.
Yes,
He
yeah.
sold it.
He has changed his appearance and everything. But he is just out here thinking it's okay to just take an innocent child's life
Thinking
and
he
think
got
it's
away with
okay
it.
and get away with it.
Right.
And that's why I said something has to be done, because I don't want another family to have to go through what I'm dealing with and have to suffer with the pain, the misery, and the loss.
Right.
You said you feel like the person who did this has done this again. Was that also over a girl, or was that just?
I have no clue. And
Okay.
to knowing that they're not trying to make an effort to get him off the streets, he's gonna keep doing it.
Oh, he will. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Gonna keep doing it.
Right. Right.
Well, all that I'm gonna say is that when my son's life got taken, I feel like my life was taken as well. There was so many things that was taken from me as so many opportunities. I would never experience being a grandmother. All of that was taken from me. I would never be able to experience seeing my son having a family, getting married, walking down the aisle, just having a life, building his life. And I believe that this job that he was about to start was the beginning of it all. It was the start of the change of something different and something better for him. Because when I dropped him off, neither myself or him both, we didn't expect that was going to be our last day together. We didn't suspect that the words that we said to each other when I dropped them off was going to be our last words.
Right.
We didn't suspect that. And just the thought of me receiving that phone call, it just broke me.
And he obviously felt safe going there. I mean,
He did. And that's the thing. They made him feel comfortable
right.
within their home and their space. He felt like he can trust them. And that's what it was. These were coming from people that he thought he can trust.
Did you say how soon after? I don't remember. When you dropped him off, how soon after did you get that phone call?
It wasn't even 2 hours later.
Even 2 hours. And him saying red car, was the man must have drove by? He wasn't there at the.
No, what he did, he came from outside of her house. And He was lured out of the house onto the front porch. And when he came outside, that's when he came from outside of the house and shot my baby.
Sorry. I'm sorry you're having to repeat your worst day.
And I tell people he didn't deserve that.
No.
No.
He didn't deserve it. He was
No.
still a baby.
Very much. You're right.
I can't help but wonder if the reason why you said that when you showed up and the others were like kneeling down by him, if it was also to make sure that he wouldn't say anything.
I believe that's what it was.
Intimidation.
I believe that's exactly what it was. But the type of kid that my son was, he's not gonna let that stop him.
No, he said red, and you know what red means.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Most definitely. But for this lady to sit there and tell them that she don't know anything, all she knew of is that her daughter came outside, found my son shot on the front porch. And when she came outside, she said that she saw the man running from outside of her house, and all she said was, "Don't shoot him no more."
The mom said that?
Yes.
Oh, she made herself a hero, didn't she? Mm-hmm.
By saving him instead of my son.
Right.
But when she was talking to that woman 2 houses up, she said the truth to her.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And she has spoke the truth to someone else that I know.
She has spoken the truth before.
Yes.
Okay.
And the police do know this, right?
Yes.
Told them that.
Yes,
Okay.
most definitely.
We're mad for you. We're mad. We're angry. I don't like being angry. This really upsets me.
We'll get your story out there.
We're going to get it out.
And I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
I know.
Because it is going on 3 years too long.
That is way too long.
I'd rather my son's justice. He deserves it. He deserves it.
He does.
He does.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
You do.
And I pray and I ask God to give me peace and comfort. And I think the only way that I'm going to receive that is to receive justice and closure for my baby. It's just that I'm going to keep fighting.
Right.
I'm going to keep fighting.
Don't stop.
And that this lady that knows everything, I don't wish anything on nobody, but she needs to be held accountable as well.
In Missouri, you would be.
She needs to be. Because I actually had a phone conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically gave herself away because I asked her, I just want to know, why did he do it? And she just came out and said, well, I want to know, why did he do it as well? She didn't say his name, but I mentioned his name to her. And she said, I want to know why did he do it as well?
Hmm.
And I submitted the whole conversation. It's like a whole 45-minute conversation that we had. And it was her just telling me that situation with her toilet, which I don't believe ever happened. She just used that to lure my son outside so this man can go through her house and throughout her back door and onto the side of her house just to shoot my son. But I'm not gonna give up.
Mm-mm.
And I try my best to hang in there and stay strong as much as I can for him, because I know that this is what he will want me to do.
Right.
And then he knows that he has a mother that's not gonna give up. He knows that. I'm gonna keep fighting all the way to the end.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
We're gonna do everything we can.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate everything.
I appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so. Okay. Mhm. So Sheila shows up after she gets a phone call, and she beats the paramedics and the police, and no one is helping her son. He's laying on the porch,
Trying to speak.
trying to. It just ticks me off so much that there's no one helping, and it's devastating to knowing that he dies when she shows up. He waited for her, but he was lured there. He was lured to the house. He was lured to the front porch, and he says red, meaning red car, and they're throwing everything at the police. You just, other than saying who the shooter is, it's like everything's right there, and there's nothing being done. The police didn't interview the girlfriend, Xavier's girlfriend.
Didn't interview who they said did it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the laws where, if I'm kind of curious, if I said that so and so did it, do they have a right to check their phone? Do they have to get permission to their phone? Do you need a warrant to the phone? Because so they have to probably have a probable cause to get into the phone, and just probably saying I heard it isn't enough reason to get a phone, because there's some type of conversation that occurred.
Right. I have no idea.
I'm assuming dumb people don't stop talking.
No, that people have to, and we know that people have talked about this, and the shooter's done it again.
Yeah. We need him off the street, and the people need to speak. I mean, there's a $25,000 reward leading to his arrest. Correct?
Correct.
$25,000 isn't making people speak. I don't know if they're scared, or is it that snitch word again, or I don't.
Well, and the thing is, though, is when you know about it, like Xavier's girlfriend, you were there when this happened, so you would know things that were happening around in the house. So you're young. You're 21 years old right now, and I think if you know anything, you need to go to the police and talk to them about it.
You can remain anonymous.
Yes, exactly. Remain anonymous. Neighbors We know that people have talked that have lived in that area. And by saying we know, it's because it gets back to people. Shooting an 18-year-old, it's on the day he got his dream job. Sheila has no other children. No other children. And she talked about how she's never going to have grandchildren because you took that from her.
I don't know what to do when you run into these people who just don't care. And I feel like a lot of these, they just don't care. I mean, they don't care about life, obviously. It's so easy to pull the trigger. They're not going to turn each other in. It's just...
I can't imagine what it's like to be a neighbor who lived in that area. So we're talking to you. To be a neighbor and then to hear someone come to you and tell you who did it and why they did it, and then you don't go forward with that information. How do you live with yourself? I mean, that makes you
kind of an accessory. Probably not that term, but it's just...
I guess I don't know what it's like. I can't imagine what it's like to have someone tell me something. Heather, you're never going to believe the story I have. Guess what? My boyfriend killed somebody because he was jealous. Oh, really? Wow. I'm just going to sit on that. Listen, I'm speaking to you. You live at the 2400 block of Chelsea. You were told relevant information, and you have it in you to come forward with the information that you know to the police that will break this case. You can call the TIPS hotline, and you can remain anonymous. With Crime Stoppers, you stay anonymous. You can text the information. They won't have your IP address, or you can call it in, but you are sitting on information that they need on this case. You were told things. Get it off your chest. You can do the right thing here. Let it out. Help this family. Help his mom. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please share our channel. Please like our show. No.
Please call in a tip.
Oh, yeah, definitely call in a tip. Oh, so if you have a tip, call 816-474-TIPS, TIPS. And I would just, I have to say this, I cannot say this enough. A grown man shoots an 18-year-old boy. An 18-year-old boy for nothing, for something trivial. So you're a real man, aren't you? You are just something. He's just...
But I think every single one of these, think about it, they're all trivial. There's never a good reason.
There's never a good reason. And how much of a man are you now? Look, I shot an 18-year-old. Unarmed. I shot an unarmed 18-year-old. Oh, you're a man.
Ran back. He didn't just even do it face to face. He ran from the back and took off running.
You ran. You ran around. You ran to the side of the house. Just nothing. I'm just pissed. I'm sorry, Haley. I just get so fucking pissed that these people think that they're such...
They're gods.
Yeah,
they get
look
to
at
choose
this.
who lives and who
I can
doesn't.
kill you.
Have the power. Pull the trigger.
You're nothing.
So join us next week.
Thank you very much for watching, and we really appreciate it.